so I'd like to have Ken say a few words.
Hi, I'm Ken Wolski. I'm Executive Director of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana in New Jersey. The mission of our organization is to educate the public about the benefits of marijuana. We believe marijuana is a safe, effective, and inexpensive therapeutic agent that should be available to anyone who can benefit from it. We believe marijuana no one should suffer needlessly by being denied access to marijuana when they need it, and no one should ever go to prison for following the advice of their physician. As Jim said, we formed our organization, Coalition for Medical Marijuana in New Jersey, in 2003. And our very first appearance was at the White Dog Cafe in Philadelphia. It was a bitterly cold night, and Cheryl came to that event. And I was so impressed to see this woman who was, at the time, we didn't know, of course, she was only a couple months away from her death from complications to multiple sclerosis. But she was willing to come out and on a bitterly cold night into some cafe in Philadelphia and explain, or just witness by her presence, the importance of medical marijuana for patients with multiple sclerosis. It was the only time I ever met Cheryl, and I was very impressed with this woman. Very impressed with her activism, very impressed with the fact that, crippled as she was willing to do everything she could to bring about safe and legal access to marijuana for patients who need it. And then there was a memorial in Washington, D.C. a little later on for Cheryl that I went to. And MS patients from all around the country came. And I got to talking to them as I would. I'm a registered nurse, been an RN for 33 years. I talk to patients, that's what I do. And one of the patients said to me, well, you know, marijuana doesn't only help with the pain and the muscle spasms that I have with my multiple sclerosis, but when I smoke the marijuana, it seems like I'm not getting any worse. My disease stops getting worse. It stops progressing. And I said, well, she must be exaggerating. How could that possibly be? How could that happen? It can't happen. I mean, I can see how marijuana can help with the muscle spasms. I can see how it could help with the pain. But how could it possibly stop the progression of multiple sclerosis? Well, the funny thing is, subsequent research has shown that this woman was right, that marijuana can actually stop the progression of multiple sclerosis. Now even an expert opinion paper was written by the experts from the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and they confirmed that marijuana has neuroprotective effects. It can stop multiple sclerosis from getting worse. Not only multiple sclerosis, it can stop other neurological conditions from getting worse. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, Alzheimer's disease. There's a host of diseases that can actually stop their progression by the use of marijuana. So this woman was right, and Cheryl was right, and I want to thank everybody for coming out to bear witness to this, and that hopefully the people here at the State House, will do the right thing, and will bring about this law here in New Jersey to protect patients who use marijuana under a doctor's recommendation. It looks like it's going to happen. We certainly hope that it will happen soon, and that it will happen in a way that benefits the most amount of patients and is not overly restrictive. Politicians fear that marijuana will bring about more medical marijuana will bring about more marijuana use. But that's really pretty absurd. I mean, the government's own statistics show that for the past 30 years, over 80% of high school teenagers have said that marijuana is easy to get or fairly easy to get. Anybody who wants to use marijuana is already using marijuana. They certainly don't need the excuse of having medical marijuana available to use it. In fact, other studies have been done that show that teenage marijuana use has gone down in the states that have permitted marijuana, that have permitted medical marijuana. And adult use stays steady. Teenagers don't find it glamorous when they see AIDS patients and multiple sclerosis patients and cancer patients using marijuana. They don't find that glamorous at all. It's not something they want to emulate. This is only about sick people getting access to the medicine that they need. So thank you all for coming, and I want to thank the state police here in New Jersey for being so cooperative in issuing us a permit, and the security guard who, when I spoke to him, he said, you know, I support you guys. I support medical marijuana. It's just so heartwarming, you know, to have people who are not involved in this just realize that we're doing it for patients like Cheryl Miller, who desperately need this drug. Thank you all.